Etsy is a selling platform where we can find a very diverse group of customers that we can easily target with a lot of different types of products. In this video, I'm going to teach you 1, how to start selling on Etsy, 2, multiple different customers, niches, and customer bases and customer groups that you can target, and 3, I'm also going to give you a nice little shortcut at the end of this video that's going to allow you to pretty much just speed up your entire Etsy store and allowing it to make you money while you sleep. So to get started, super simple. The first thing that we need to do is simply make a basic account on Etsy, a buyer account. So we're going to go to sign in, and then all you have to do is click on register. So just go ahead and fill out your information. All right, once we create our account, the next thing we have to do is go over here where our profile is, and we're going to click on sell on Etsy. Now from here, we're going to get started just filling out some basic information. So let's click on get started. And just so you know, now that I see it right here, there is a $29 setup fee. So Etsy does charge you $29 to open up your account. So just make sure that you keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and click on let's do this. Now don't worry about that $29 fee because honestly, you're going to be able to gain it back pretty quickly. So now it's asking us a couple of different questions. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. We can click on any one of these, click on next. What are we interested in? Let's just go ahead and do vintage and handmade because we're not going to be selling digital. Now let's just go ahead and click on everything because honestly, when we're selling on Etsy, we can sell almost anything that we want in those categories. So let's go ahead and click on start our shop. Now we need to give Etsy some of our information. So let's go ahead and choose our shop language. This for me stays default. Choose whatever it is for you. Let's go ahead and name our shop. So now just thinking about what it just asked us right now, I just have the word vintage stuck in my head. So let's just go with something like Sunny Vintage Goods. So let's go ahead and click on save and continue. Now it's going to ask us how we want to get paid. So here, all we have to do is simply just connect our bank account and tell it a bit of information on ourselves. So are we going to be enrolling as an individual or as a sole proprietorship? So if you have a DBA, let's say if you're doing business as, then you can go ahead and click on this, or you can click on incorporated business if you have an actual business. Like let's say if you have an LLC, you can go ahead and do it this way. Now it's going to ask us for all of this extra information. We simply just have to fill this in. Same thing if we do individual, it's going to ask us to fill in our information, including our social security and a bit of extra information. Now I'm not going to open up the entire account right now, simply because I don't need to open up an account. But I am going to explain to you that this is, of course, crucial. You do need to do this. Now, it's also going to ask you to have pretty much a card on file. So that way you can get charged for any fees that Etsy is going to charge you for or is going to bill you for. A lot of the times this card can be used to, let's say, pay for shipping labels, or the shipping labels can also come out of your profits. You can also pay certain fees with it. Or if your account is in the negative for whatever reason, let's say somebody returns something, then the card is going to be used to cover that. But really, for the most part, you're not going to be getting charged from Etsy. So after that, really all it's going to do is simply just verify your information and verify your account. And it might also ask you, just so you know, it does it to some people it doesn't. It might ask you to verify your ID and yourself. So it's going to ask you for a picture of your ID and a picture of yourself. It might ask you for a selfie. So once you have that, you can go ahead and finish up your store. And then it's going to take us to this screen. This is going to be our dashboard. This is where we're going to have all of our information. Now, I'm going to give you a quick tip right now because this has happened to me in the past with this store and with a few different stores that I've opened. There's a very strong possibility that your account might get suspended for no reason at all. This does happen from time to time, and don't worry, it's a very easy fix. So simply what happens is you're going to get a little red bar up here that says your store has been suspended, submit an appeal. You go ahead, you submit that appeal. It's going to ask you a couple of questions. You simply just tell Etsy that you just opened your account. You are going to be following the rules and you really don't know why your account was suspended, but you do plan on following the rules and selling on Etsy the way that you're supposed to. And then usually within 1 to 2 business days, the account is cleared and it's activated and it's approved. Now, again, this doesn't happen all the time. It happens every once in a while. Maybe it's happened to me because I've had a couple of accounts banned in the past or suspended in the past, but who knows? So just so you know, if you do get that red bar, that little alert, don't freak out, submit an appeal, you'll be fine. Now, quick break. If you're finding value in this video so far and it's helping you actually get started selling on Etsy, then make sure you click that subscribe button and make sure you like this video and also consider sharing the video if you think other people will find value behind it. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Now, before we do get started with everything on this page, I do want to talk to you a little bit about the fees because there are a few different fees associated when you're selling on Etsy. So the very first one is going to be your selling fee. So whenever you make a sale, Etsy is going to charge you a transaction fee and an Etsy payment processing fee. Now the transaction fee is going to be about 6.5%, while the processing fee is going to be about 3% with 25 cents extra added. Now this is going to depend on what country you're selling in, but if you're in the US, that's going to be pretty much what it is. Now, besides that, you're also going to have off-site ads. This is turned on by default, and simply what an off-site ad is pretty much Etsy advertising your products outside of Etsy. So if somebody goes to Google and types in, I don't know, let's say football t-shirt or whatever it may be, and one of the listings that appears on Google is your Etsy ad, if somebody clicks on that and then makes a purchase in your store, then you are going to get charged an off-site ads fee. Now, this fee is a little bit higher than most people want. So the good thing is that you are able to turn it off. You are able to turn off off-site ads. I keep them on because why not, right? It's an extra sale and I'm still making money at the end of the day. And that can vary between 12 to 15%. So yeah, it is pretty high, especially since that is stacked up on top of the payment processing fee and the Etsy transaction fee. Now, besides that, whenever you do upload any product to your store, you are also going to get charged 20 cents. So every product that you add to your store is going to be charged 20 cents to your account, just so you know. And also that kind of adds onto what I was talking about earlier with the debit card that you have on file. If you upload 10 products, that's going to be $2, right? And if you don't make any sales within a month, then Etsy's going to be like, you got to pay me my $2. And that's why you add your debit card. So that way Etsy can charge you for these types of fees. Those were the ones that I was talking about earlier. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about our dashboard. So on our dashboard, we're going to see our search, we're going to see the dashboard, the listings, and all of this extra information. The dashboard is going to be pretty much your main home. This is where you're going to have all the information, how much money you've made, how many sales you've made, how many people have gone to your store, how many people have clicked on your listings, all that stuff. And then you have your messages and any listings. So this will tell you which one of your products are expired and sold out. Just so you know, products on Etsy do get renewed every 3 months. So if your product doesn't sell within 3 months, it's going to be renewed and it's also going to get charged those 20 cents again. Now your product's being renewed, that is going to be something that's also optional. You can choose to manually or automatically renew your listings. So if you see something's not selling within 2 months, then you don't have to automatically renew it because you might not want to sell it again. So let's move on to the listings page. Here we're going to have all of the different products that we're going to be selling. Now, speaking of products, before we get into this, what sells on Etsy? Well, on Etsy, really, Etsy is a handmade and vintage place to sell. It's a vintage marketplace, a handmade and vintage marketplace. But lately, there's been a lot more on there. And one of the strongest products to sell on here is going to be clothing. A lot of clothing, a lot of customized clothing, which there's a lot of different options for you to be able to offer custom clothing, even if you don't print things at home yourself, such as print on demand, which again, we'll talk about in a minute. Now, when it comes to the different products on Etsy, again, you can sell t-shirts. You can sell t-shirts for, let's say, different events, different holidays. Same thing goes for handmade goods. If you make anything at home, whether it be, I don't know, a handmade cup, a handmade mug, things like that, that is what Etsy is made for. And of course, vintage and retro products. But as of lately, the Etsy platform has been changing. People have been selling a lot more on there. And the group of people that purchase on Etsy has also been changing as well. So not only do you have consumers that are purchasing from Etsy, but you also have businesses that are purchasing from Etsy. So a lot of people go on Etsy, a lot of businesses go on Etsy, and they purchase designs. So if you're a designer, if you draw, if you do any type of artwork, you can sell your digital products on Etsy and you can sell them to other businesses. Besides that, you can also sell them, of course, to direct to consumers. But just so you know, these are two different types of demographics on Etsy that you can easily target. Now, my suggestion is to choose a niche, whether it be to sell to consumers directly or to sell to other business owners. Go with one and then stick to that type of product, because that's the type of customers that you're going to keep on attracting. If they find your product, they like it, and they keep buying, Etsy's going to show your product to more of that demographic. Now, in order to add a listing, it's very easy. All you have to do is click on add a listing, and we're going to choose one of our categories. So we can look for categories. Let's say we're going to do a mug. We can type in mugs. We can click on mugs. We can go ahead and click on continue. And then we have the option to choose a physical or a digital file. You're still going to have to answer a couple of different questions, regardless of which one you choose. But if you do a digital file, it's going to ask you to upload the product at the end. And when somebody purchases that product, it's going to be automatically sent to them by Etsy. So just a quick overview: who made it, what is it, when was it made. Here you have a few different options. I usually just keep it as made to order. And then how is this digital content created? Because now with AI, everybody wants to know whether your products are AI or not. If you made your product with AI, I highly suggest that you be truthful, because if somebody finds out, or if somebody notices that it's AI generated and you're saying that it was created by you, then you can start putting your account at risk because you're not being truthful to your customers or to Etsy. So always be truthful. Then we have the physical items. Here we can go ahead and select our information. So who made it, what is it, and when was it made? So by the way, the what is it is a finished product or a supply or tool to make things. Now the finished product is going to be more than anything for people who want to buy, let's say, a t-shirt. The supplier tool to make things, that's going to be directed more to business owners. So right there, you're already kind of differentiating between the two demographics. And then here, production partners for this listing, if you're using a third-party service to create your products, like let's say you're using Print on Demand to print your t-shirts, you're going to go ahead and click on Select Production Partners. Then you're going to click on Create, and you're going to type in their information here. So let's say you're using AutoDS. You can go ahead and under the production partner, put AutoDS, and then the rest of the information on here. So for now, let's just go ahead and choose whichever. Now that we do made to order, it's going to ask us for two more pieces of information. So how does the shop produce the item? Is it made from scratch? It's assembled from different parts that are already existing. It's an item that your shop alters. So let's say you get a t-shirt, you buy it at the store, and then you alter it yourself, you print on it, whatever it may be. And then you have a couple of other options here. Then it asks you what tools you used, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and just do the first one, and handheld or hand guided. Now we're gonna go ahead and type in our information. We're gonna put a title for a product. We're going to upload the images, our description, our pricing. When we do our pricing, always remember to take into consideration the fees. But then we have also the quantity. If you have different variations, you can go ahead and add them through here. And then you have the details on the product. So the core details, we already said it's a physical item, the category. You don't have to fill in the attributes, but you can if you want to, because it helps your customers and sometimes it helps the SEO purposes. And now we have our tags. Now, when it comes to the tags, these are a little bit tricky because sometimes people don't know what to use. My suggestion is use different words that would be associated to what people search. So if you're selling a purple NASA mug, right? You're going to put purple NASA mug. Perfect. Let's say it's a gift for science lovers or people who love science. So gift for science. Just leave it like that. And then science gift. Space exploration mug. Oh, it's too long. So just space exploration. Then you can put mug, cup. You don't have to put mug and cup because Etsy already knows what they are, but I always like to put them on here just because it kind of adds to the wording of the other products. So science gift cup, gift for science, or mug gift for science, something like that. You're pretty much just trying to mash up different keywords that can essentially just be picked and chosen and put together, and it'll make sense. Then you have the materials, you have a bit more information, and then this is the one that you really need to see, the processing and shipping. So this is something that you need to fill out before you can even start selling online. So this is something that you're gonna have to set up once, and you can just simply reuse the same profile over and over. So the processing profile, we can go ahead and click on add a profile and choose how many days it takes for your product to get created. So in my case, let's do 2 to 5 just to be safe. Then the shipping option, we can go ahead and create an option or select a profile. If we do select, we choose some of the ones that we already have existing. But since you're brand new, you're gonna have to create one. So you can either enter your fixed prices manually or have Etsy calculate the pricing for your shipping. Personally, I enter fixed prices and I give everybody free shipping. And then I just add the cost of the shipping to my product. And some people like to show their customers that they're going to be the ones that are paying for the shipping. And that's okay. It's really up to you and whatever works best for you. But just so you know, Etsy does favor people who give free shipping. The reason I do the quotes is, again, because nobody really gives free shipping. What they're doing is they're simply adding the cost of the shipping to the price of the product. So then you just fill out the rest of the information. So where's it coming from, the origin zip code, and what services you're going to be using. So for the United States, you can use any one of these different services between USPS, FedEx, UPS. You can add multiples if you want. And then everywhere else, if you do want to ship internationally or globally, you can do that through here as well. Personally, I delete this and I stick to the United States. Trust me, there's a big enough market in the US already purchasing from Etsy, so you're good to go. Now, you also have the option to add a shipping upgrade. So if somebody wants to pay extra to get their products faster, you have the option to do that. And then, of course, make sure to save your profile and name it if it's a profile that's going to be applicable to multiple listings in your store. Then we're going to go ahead and select our item weight and size. We can go ahead and put the weight of the product, the length of the packaging. We don't necessarily have to put that, especially since we're going to be offering free shipping. And then our returns policy. So we can go ahead and click on change policy. Again, if you're new, you are going to have to choose a policy or create one. But then you're going to have these two different policies over here, which are from Etsy, or you can create your own. You can just choose whether you accept returns or exchanges and what the time frame is. That's really all it is. And then last but not least, renewal options. So remember how I told you that Etsy is going to renew your products after 3 months? Well, this is how you do that. Sorry, not 3 months, 4 months. It says right here, lasts for 4 months. Okay, so that's even better. So we have automatic, this listing will renew when it expires. So in 4 months, when the listing expires, it's automatically going to get renewed, but you are going to still get charged your 20 cents. Or you can do it manually. It'll just expire and it'll be inactive until you go in there and you turn it back on. Now, once you have all of this ready, you simply click on Save as Draft if you want to save it for later, or Publish, and it'll be live in your store. So taking a look at our listings page, we can see all of our different listings. We can go ahead and select multiples, or we can simply just select one, and then we have a few different options. So we have the renew, the deactivate, delete, and editing options. So let's go ahead and click on that. And here you have a few different options to change different options from your listings, or you can just simply do it from each listing down here. So let's run over to the side. We have some filters for our different listings. We can go into the messages where we're going to have all of the messages from our customers or from Etsy. We have our orders page. Currently, I don't have any, but then if we go into the completed page, we can see all of the different orders that have come in through here. Then we have our Etsy search visibility. It's very helpful because if Etsy is limiting our searchability, which can happen depending on a few factors, like let's say if I'm not responsive to my customers, if I'm not answering their messages, Etsy will limit my visibility. Also, if I don't adhere to my own policies. So if I tell my customers that the product is going to ship out in 1 to 5 days and it ships out in 2 weeks, then it's also going to do that. It's going to start to lower my visibility because I'm not being trustworthy. It's not going to completely exclude us, but it is going to be lowered. So here you can see that 47 of my listings can actually have better titles. So if I update those titles, then I might be able to reach a wider audience. Besides that, we can check out the stats. We can check out our stock traffic. We can see in the last 7 days, how many visits, how many orders, or conversion rate, and all of that information. We have some shopper stats and how our customers have found us. Now, this is very interesting because down here, we can also see which one of our listings are the most popular. So we can see that this product right here has gotten me 36 views in the last week. It hasn't had any favorites or orders, but then it also gives us the rest of the different ones that have had the most views. But we can also filter it by orders, and we can see which one was the one order that we saw earlier. Then we have our marketplace insights, where we can simply just explore different terms. We can, let's say, I sell shirts a lot, so let's do shirt. We can see search data for that term. So this pretty much tells us what our customers or what people on Etsy are looking for or what they're searching for. Then we have our customer service stats. So pretty much saying, are you being good to your customers? Are you providing good customer service? Any policy violations we're going to see here. So if you're selling stuff you're not supposed to, like let's say copyright products, which you should not be doing, then Etsy's going to catch on to you. If they find any listings, they will take them down, and you're going to start to see that information on here. Speaking of policy violations and the copyright, do not sell anything that's copyright. Anything that is branded, anything that's Nike, anything that's any anime brands, any existing brands, any, let's say, anything that's Apple, anything that's Microsoft, just don't sell it because Etsy is going to take it down. Then we have marketing. Okay, so Etsy ads. Etsy ads works a little bit different than a few other marketplaces. What you do in this case is you're going to go ahead and choose what listings you want to promote and how much you want to spend per day on those listings. And then the way that you're going to pay is going to be, again, through that debit card or credit card that you added at the beginning, and you're going to be charged at the end of every day. Now, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, to be honest with you. It says that my shop needs to be active to start Etsy ads, but as you saw earlier, I took it off vacation mode. It was never on vacation mode, so it should be active. And so far, everything is good. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna have to reach out to support for that. But besides that, we have our sales and discounts. Now, when it comes to sales and discounts, you can offer abandoned cart offers. So if somebody adds a product to your cart and they don't check out, they just leave it there, then Etsy's going to send them an offer. I currently have it to 20%. By the way, my suggestion when it comes to sales and discounts is if you want to get sales on a consistent basis, always run a sale. Always have a sale going on every single month, change it and vary the percentages. I'm going to give you a little bit of my secret sauce. So what I do is I'll vary it between 10 to 20%. And of course, all of my products are marked up 20% extra. So that way I can take into consideration, the discount that I'm giving my customers. Because again, my products are almost always going to be on sale. So always include maybe 10 to 20% extra and then have your products at a discounted rate. Then you have also a thank you offer. So somebody places an order, you can send them an email. I don't have that one set up. Same thing for favorited. So if somebody goes to your store, they favorite one of your products, you can send them an email for a discount. And then if you don't want a simple discount or a coupon that's already always active, you can create a promo code. I don't do that because it's a little bit more friction between me and the customer. I just give them the automatic discount. But you can give people exclusive promo codes that kind of makes them feel a little bit special. Now here you can also set up the different discounts. You can accept offers from buyers. This is something that's actually fairly new. You can set essentially a discount limit. And if your customers say, all right, will you take 5% less? You can set it to automatically say yes and take that offer. You can run a sale, which is what I'm always running. Set an order minimum. So if you don't want to sell just one shirt or just one of your products, you can go ahead and set a minimum where it says, hey, you need to buy 2 if you want to purchase this particular product. And then you can also bundle your different items together so that way you can give your customers a little discount for purchasing multiple items together that go together. Then we have social media. This isn't something that I use too much, but what they do is pretty much simply just make your listings into social media posts. And it just makes it a lot easier. You can go ahead and connect your Instagram if you want to just automatically post from here. You have share and save where you're pretty much just getting other people to come sell on Etsy. You can also add a custom web address. This is pretty interesting. This isn't something a lot of people do, but you can add your own www.mystore.com, but then that changes your account to a different type of account where you have to pay a monthly fee. So I personally don't do that. And honestly, you don't really need to do that. It's not something that's necessary. Then you have your finances. You have all of the information here. So you can have your payment account, your monthly account, and your payment settings. Now, your payment account is going to tell you how much you've made or if you owe anything to Etsy. Now let's look at the one that is actually pretty important here, which is the payment settings. So this part's very important because it allows you to set your deposit schedule. So how often do you want to get paid? This is just very important for me. I like to get paid once per week, but you can change that to every single day, which is actually really interesting, or once per month. Now you can also set your currency, change your billing details and your address. Then you have the help section where you can go ahead and contact Etsy. Then you have the settings where you can simply just change all of the information for your store, like the info and appearance. You can go ahead and set your shop title, your shop icon, a little bit of more information on yourself, and you can change the name if you want. You can also change some of the different options where you can rearrange your shop. You can move some of the different products. You can offer gift wrapping, gift note, vacation mode, which is what I made sure earlier that was off. You can always turn it on if you want to go on vacation and you want your customers to know, hey, you can still place your order, but just so you know, it's not going to get fulfilled until I come back, which can be in 2 weeks. You have a couple more options. And as far as the Etsy dashboard and the Etsy shop manager, that's really all there is that you need to know. Now, when it comes to selling on Etsy, there's a few different options to actually sell products. So for one, like I said earlier, you can offer anything that you make yourself, but you can also partner up with a production partner, such as AutoDS. Now, AutoDS is going to help you out with either dropshipping or print on demand. Dropshipping kind of covers both the just overall dropshipping in general and print on demand. But here's the main difference. For dropshipping, you're going to be selling primarily just different types of products. You can sell things like beanies, you can sell t-shirts, you can sell physical products, you can sell toys, you can sell stuff like that. Now, when it comes to print on demand, you're going to be customizing different products to sell. So you can put your design on a t-shirt, you can put your design on a mug, on a hat, and then you're going to offer that. So you can do both, you can do one, you can do the other. It's really up to you. But the important part here is that you keep obeying Etsy's policies. So that way your shop doesn't get shut down. Now, primarily what it is when it comes to dropshipping, you just need to be careful on what you're selling and be truthful about where that product is shipping from. So when I say be careful with what you're selling, of course, avoid any copyright items, anything that's trademarked, anything that already has a brand attached to it. And most importantly, make sure you follow the Etsy niche: handmade, vintage, and retro. Stick to that and your store is going to be safe. Now, when it comes to print on demand, you can offer any type of t-shirt that you want. You can offer any type of hoodie that you want. But the one thing that's going to be major here is going to be to, again, avoid anything that's copyright. Don't sell anything with already made characters. Don't sell anything with Mickey on it. Don't sell anything with any anime or Dragon Ball on it. Don't sell anything that says Nike on it. Stuff like that. Always make sure that whatever you're selling with your original designs, your original art, or art that you can purchase online. Now, when finding these different products to dropship or for your prints on demand, you can go ahead and sign up for AutoDS. And by the way, if you're not signed up with AutoDS, you can get started right now for just $1 for the next 2 weeks. And then you're going to gain access to all of these different products and everything that I'm about to show you. So for one, you're going to have access to the marketplace. So let's look for something really fast here that we're going to be able to offer on Etsy. So let's look actually up here. Let's look for clothing, shoes, and jewelry. Jewelry is a huge niche on Etsy as well. So that's also something that's good to look into. So let's actually look for that, right? Let's go for something like right here, some nose rings. You can sell nose rings on Etsy. The important part here also is going to be to not keep the same boring image. Order a sample, take a couple pictures with it, take a couple of pictures of the product itself, and then use those pictures. I don't suggest that you use the generic pictures that come with your suppliers, because at the end of the day, those are, again, very generic and people know that they're not handmade, right? So we can check this out. If this is something that we like, if this is something that will fit our niche and that fits Etsy's niches, we can simply just click on import draft and it'll be imported to our draft section, which is this right here, where we can then go ahead and add any details that we want, like changing the title, the description, and the images. Now you also gain access to print on demand. So right here, we can go ahead and check out the different options we have for that. And you can go ahead and customize any one of these different t-shirts, any one of these hoodies. If you keep scrolling, you're gonna be able to find things like mugs, keychains, and even wall art. So you can go ahead and upload your products. So you can go ahead and upload your designs and then have them printed through here. Now, when it comes to selling on Etsy, as you can see, it's very straightforward, it's very easy. And if you work with a partner like AutoDS, it becomes even easier because overall what AutoDS is gonna be doing for you, other than supplying you with some of the best and most trending products, is gonna be fulfilling your orders for you. So when an order comes through to your store, it's gonna be automatically redirected to AutoDS, where AutoDS is gonna do all of the heavy lifting and all of the manual work for you. So it's gonna take that order, it's gonna reroute it to your supplier, it's gonna get it printed, and it's gonna ship it out directly to your customer. And then it's gonna update you and your customer with a tracking number. So if you wanna learn more about AutoDS and how it can help you speed up your online e-commerce journey, then just check out this video right here.